Israel's military claims it's taken control of the Rafah border crossing on the Palestinian side in Gaza. The IDF says its troops are now on the ground, backed up by tank forces. The United Nations has again warned of the risk of catastrophic civilian casualties. But there is hope a new round of ceasefire talks might bring an end to the bloodshed.
Israeli tanks rolling across the border into Gaza, taking control of the Rafah crossing on the Palestinian side. Cries of triumph from the battalion's commander. "Rafah is in our hands," he shouts. Israeli media broadcast the seizure with these pictures showing tanks firing and crushing flags and signs. The IDF claims it has new information that Hamas militants have been operating from this crossing area. The army described the military action as a specific and targeted operation. It wouldn't be drawn on whether the ground activity will be expanded to other areas of Rafah. Thousands of people started leaving their makeshift homes in the confusion. People here are terrified. Hours before Israel had warned people to evacuate the eastern part of Rafah. Leaflets were dropped. Many here have been displaced several times since the start of the war. Now they're being forced to leave again. Earlier, the people of Gaza had been celebrating what they thought was an announcement of a ceasefire. But it was premature. Hamas has agreed to a new ceasefire proposal from Qatari and Egyptian mediators. Israel has so far rejected it, saying it's far from meeting its demands. But it's agreed to send negotiators back to the table.
I mean, my goodness, folks, I don't know that it gets any more sensitive than right now. And the worst thing that we can do is start speculating about what's in it.
Hopeful Israelis took to the streets in Tel Aviv, demanding their government accept the latest proposal.
We expect for the Israeli government to take this deal to save all the remaining hostages who are still alive.
The airstrikes on Rafah haven't stopped. Casualties were again rushed to hospital, and again the children are among the victims. Agreement on a peace deal for both sides of this war is becoming more urgent by the hour.
Our correspondent Alison Horn joins us now. Alison, Israeli tanks have now moved in at the Rafah border crossing. Has the ground offensive begun?
Jeremy, that's certainly not how Israel is framing this. They say this is a limited and specific operation targeting two areas of eastern Rafah. But this is highly significant. It's the first time in this war that Israeli troops are on the ground in Rafah, what was designated a safe zone. Those troops now have control of the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing, one of the main humanitarian aid crossings into Gaza. And the Israeli military hasn't been able to tell us what's going to happen to the flow of aid. At the moment, that crossing is closed, or whether or not this is just the start of a wider ground invasion into Rafah. Certainly, Palestinians I've spoken with in Rafah in the last few hours say they're terrified about what could come next.
Alison Horn reporting from Jerusalem.